Yeah, so let's get started. Yeah, so welcome everyone. My name is Cisco Fauli. I am the QA engineer at the Document Foundation. I started 2 years ago in this position. And in today's talk, I'm going to talk about, how to improve LibreOffice quality together. And, basically, it's a summary of what happened in 2018 and, what's for the near future in 2019. So, first, I'm going to talk about what happened in Bugzilla, the bug tracker we use. Then I'm going to talk about the automation of things we are doing in QA, or how we can find ways to automate things. Then I'm going to talk about QA events in 2018, and then in the middle of 2018 we created a blog about QA, so I'm going to slightly talk about that and what we are using it for, and basically that's it. So let's start talking about what happened in Bugzilla last year. So that's we got around 7,500 reports in the whole year by 3,100 people. 88% of those bugs were, those reports were bugs, and then 11.5 were enhancements. And we have, there is a pointer, I think. Oh no, okay. So in average, we have 550 reports every month, and then in October we got around 700 reports. And the reason is that we got 6.1.3 report release about that time. So I think that's when this release becomes still, and then we got more people reporting issues. Then, we got almost 6,900 reports closed by 520 people. This is slightly lower than the number of reports we get open, but anyway, I think it's quite impressive to see so many bugs reports in a year. So in average, it's around, it's slightly lower than 600 reports every month. And then we also have October as the month where more reports were closed. So basically, when we get more reports, normally, some of them are duplicates or not an issue, so they get closed as well. Then, on this chart, we see that of those 6,900 bugs closed, so almost 32% of them were closed as a fix, so there is a commit fixing them. Then 24% of them were duplicates bugs, so were triaged by QA. Around 18% were work for me, which means those bugs were, they were triaged in the past, and then at some point they got fixed. Then someone retested them, and they were no longer reproducible, but we don't know the patch or the commit fixing them, so we just close as works for me. And then we have around 12% of them which were closed as insufficient data because we requested more info from the reporter, but then we didn't have any info back. Then, normally when a bug is reported, it goes to unconfirmed status. So then from that point on, it's when QA jumps in and basically triage it and decided to move it to new or duplicate or whatever status it needs to go. So the important thing is that the lower number we have of unconfirmed bugs, the better, because otherwise, if this chart is going up all the time, it means that, that we are not triaging those bugs in time. So yeah, it's not that. So if we don't triage them, then it's going to take longer to fix them. So yeah, it's always a struggle to put this number back. Like in March, we put it to 300, then it went up to 500, then back again to 350. So then it goes up, and it's always like this kind of trend. But yeah, at least the idea is that we keep on doing it, so it's not going all the time up. Then, this is an interesting one. So yeah, we see that over 1 year, the number of regressions went from 850 to more than 1,000. So we have in April or May, more or less, there was a drop there. I took a look in Baxilla, and there was this huge change from Armin about AW8080. So then, like, many regressions were introduced, and then at some point he fixed all of them. So we had a drop, but yeah, it's something to take into account, because then while I was preparing the slides, I did the same slide. I created the same chart for the previous year from 2017, and it was the same trend. Like, we get more and more regressions. So those are the open regressions. So yeah, I understand that like many people report bugs. At some point, we find that there are regressions because they didn't work they used to work in the past. But yeah, it's something to take into account. So looking at these charts, I thought, okay, we should analyze like when when those regressions were introduced. So yeah, we see that in 5.1 and 4.1, sorry, we still have like 100 open, and the same for in 6.1 it's kind of expected, because it's still a production release, so it's not end of life. So we are still working on that release as well, same as 6.2. But yeah, like looking at this chart, I can say that half of them were from 4 times or 3 times. So like the 3 releases, major releases, or 4 major releases. So then those regressions seems that they were introduced so long time ago that it's now difficult to get someone to look at them. It's not like if you introduce a regression, then it's like 2 months old, then it's easier to fix it. But then, yeah, we are carrying all these regressions from the past. So yeah, it's difficult to get someone to fix them. Then highest priority bugs from that time, from last year. So this this peak here, it matches also when this work where the refactor from Armin was done. So then many crashes and many regressions were found. So then when he fixed them, then we got back to where we were, and now where we are kind of stable here. And then here with high priority bugs, well, it's kind of yeah, steady as well. And then that peak there, it's another refactor from Armin. That yeah, there were many and yeah, many problems introduced it, and then it got back to normal. Yeah, so that was it for Bugzilla. Well, regarding automation, so 2 years ago, I talked about this script we are using now. So basically, what we do is, well, we have a pool of documents, and what we do is to import them in LibreOffice. Then we export them to different formats like doc, docx, then RTF. Then we open those documents, those exported documents in Word or in PowerPoint, or yeah, and then we create a PDF. So then we have the reference from Word, and then the PDF created from LibreOffice, and then round trip it in Word. So we can, well, it works by finding differences in those PDFs. So then we can, yeah, I use it to find regressions, and yeah, so last year we found 62 bugs with this tool. So the good news is that 70% of them are already fixed. It seems CIB and Nitset team, or I don't know how you pronounce it, they are using this tool as well. So right now, like in the TDF infrastructure, we use it to test Writer, Calc, and Impress. So those are the formats we test nowadays. And in Writer, we use a pool of 4,000 files. In Calc, 5,500 files. And then in Impress, 2,400 files. So those are random files downloaded from different bug trackers. So with using a huge number of documents allows us to find really corner cases, like really strange or obscure documents that, well, like for normal features, we have already these cases, but using this tool allows us to find, well, problems that otherwise we couldn't find. So this is an example. Here on the left, you have the reference, and on the right, you have the document exported from LibreOffice. So you see that, well, some characters are missing. So yeah, that was, this way we just find it right away that something's wrong here. Then we just bisect it and say, okay, this commit produces this regression. So then it's faster, yeah. Same here. So this is from LibreOffice. So the background was white, while it should be transparent. Or the same here, we have the bullet. The bullets should be one like specific size, and in there they were much smaller. Then we also use some scripts to track what's going on in Baxilla. Yeah, as I said before, we get more than 5,000 reports every year. You just need to create an account. It's as easy as having an email and a password. You can edit everything you want. We don't restrict what users can do in Baxilla. So it's, yeah, we have this philosophy of anything can be, like anyone can edit anything. So, well, the downside of that is that, well, we need to check that things are done in the right way. So in order to do that, I use this script. So yeah, like we check 30 different things with this script. Some of the ones I find more interesting is that, okay, this script creates a report that let me know, like, okay, that regression or a crash was just fixed. So then I get the list of those regressions and crashes fixed. So I just go there and verify they are fixed. Or also, an interesting one is that we are encouraging newcomers to confirm bugs. But the problem is that if they just confirm the bug, then we don't know if it's a regression or not. So maybe if it's a recent regression, but no one checks that, then the bug remains open forever. So then, with these reports, I know that a specific bug was moved to new without confirming whether it's a regression or not. So I just check it, double check it, and then it speeds up the process. Yeah, and things like that. So my idea for the future is to, because right now I run this script locally, because yeah, it's something I've been working this year. So my idea is to, now that it's more or less working as expected, to have it published somewhere, like in the wiki, or like to have a website for that. So then, like any other contributor can read this report and also help on that. Yeah, and I have a talk in Tirana's conference about that, so here's the link. Yeah, this is another thing this script is good for. So when I see a newcomer is doing things in Baxilla, then I get a notification with this script, and I just send him an email like, hey, Tony, so welcoming him and giving this person some pointers and some links, some interesting links. So yeah, last year I sent this email to 130 people, and I do the same for all contributors. So yeah, people go and come and go, and so what I do is just like, if I see that someone was contributing in the past actively, and then after half a year he's not, or this person is not contributing anymore, I just send an email saying, hey, we miss you, like we would appreciate if you like can help us anytime in the future. So yeah, and I send this email to 150 all contributors, and yeah, sometimes you get nice replies like, oh, I'm busy now, but whenever I get time again, I'll contribute back again. So yeah, that's I think like people, well, they appreciate sometimes, not always, but sometimes. Then we have UI test as well. So we have Sniek or Ral here. So he did a really impressive work last year. He did around 200 patches in 2018. Well, we also have Marcus Mohan, who did this framework. So right now we have 136 tests in Writer, 15 in Impress, 5 in Math, none in Draw. So that's something to work on. And then Calc is really, well, the most covered, 264. So that makes 427 tests. So considering this framework was introduced 1.5 years ago, That's a really impressive work and progress here. And this is something I did in the Hackfest the other day. So I found one dialogue which was, well, there was a regression in a dialogue. So then I thought, well, we have a make a screenshot thing that just prints all the dialogues in PNG files. So I thought, well, maybe we could just compare those screenshots between different builds. So then if we have different, like in this case, well, there might be a false positive, but we could also find regressions much faster this way. So that's something I'm doing now. So yeah, let's see if it works. I'll have it, yeah, it's a simple script, but I'm gonna have it in a VM, like running, like I pull master, I build it with screenshots and then compare and see if some useful information comes out of it. Then QA events, well, we have for most of the, or normally for Alpha 1, Beta 1, and RC1, we organize a bug hunting session. So we had 3 bug hunting sessions in 6.1, 3 other in 6.2. So yeah, we normally have dedicated sessions where we encourage participants to test some new features or to test a part of the project, of the program. So in 6.1, we focused on fiber migration and the image handling refactoring. And then in 6.2, well, we did it for KDE5 integration, the notebook bar, and also the fiber migration. Also, there was a Hackfest in Taiwan. It was organized by Franklin, who was here just 1 hour ago. Also, Chen Xia Sheng, I don't know, and Jeff Huang. So this was an interesting event because there were more than, well, around 70 students attending this event, and yeah, it was focused on QA. And also, we had, here we have Muhammad. So he ran 2 inside hunting sessions in Ankara, if I'm right. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah. And then finally, the blog. So in August, we created a blog for QA. Right now, we're using it for announcing pre-releases and also to announce, well, to publish monthly reports. So in the past, when we had pre-releases, normally we send an email to the QA list, but that's something that we stopped doing it. So I thought, well, the more we advertise it, the more people is going to download it, and then we're going to have more people testing it. So then I thought, okay, let's use the QA blog, which goes to the Planet as well. And then I can also share the link in Telegram or wherever channel. And yeah, so right now we announce all pre-releases in the blog. So then, well, what we do is to point them to the Get Involved page where they have the links to download the builds. So yeah, I see, like in this, on this chart, you can see that yesterday I announced the final pre-release, or the RC3 from 6.2, which is going to be announced as final next week. So you have like an average of 35 people visiting the Get Involved page, but then yesterday, as I announced this pre-release, then we jumped to 70 people. So then we have, yeah, I think it's important to announce it because then we get more people testing it. And finally, we have monthly reports. That's something I've been kind of, yeah, on the one hand, I do it with a script because we have some charts that can be generated with a script. But also, I'm going to show you this example. This is from last report from December. I still have like 2 minutes.
5 minutes left.
5 minutes, okay, but maybe some questions. So, yeah, we have here like the number of reports, triage bugs, and the people doing that, fix bugs, like list of critical bugs like crashes and highest priority bugs. Verify, yeah, like different information about QA. Then we have this chart, which were similar to the one I used at the beginning of this presentation, regressions. So you get an estimation of what's going on in the project. And that's, well, this information is done automatically, very well, automatically with a script. But then we have this one here, which is quite interesting because, well, I think it's been a topic for quite some time that we wanted to have a place to gather all information about what's going on in development and, well, in this case, development and QA. So if you are not really following Git or what's going on in the repository, then you can just come here and see what's going on in the project. Like, I don't know, like scan support, like things that are going on in master. So yeah, it's kind of for like human way of knowing what's going on. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for attending. And do you have any question? Yeah.
Did you ever decide what to do about old bugs? There was the reminder email. This bug hasn't been touched in a year. Was there a follow-up plan to close all of them if there was no...
But you mean if the bug is reopened?
No, if somebody applies a bug and then a year later the bug is still there, but there's been no activity.
Yeah. Yeah, so what we do now is, okay, so someone reports a bug, then we request, if we need some information, we just put it in need info. So after 6 months, if we don't get any reply from the reporter, we just send a reminder that, okay, this bug is going to be moved to resolve insufficient data in a month. So if we don't get that response, then we just close it. So they don't remain open forever or in unconfirmed or whatever. Well, a lot of questions.
There are reminders to look whether the bug is really not fixed in the meantime, but they are a year ago and nothing happened.
Yeah, but then, yeah, that's because the bug is set to new, but then nothing happened within a year. So then we just send a reminder. So the reminder, it's, well, what it's trying to, well, the reporter to test that, to retest that bug. But yeah, sometimes we don't get, that's what you mean, this long reminder that we send.
Why not simply close it then? When there is
Yeah, but
request for...
yeah, but the bug was confirmed in the past. So someone needs to retest it in order to close it. We cannot close it automatically because then we are losing information. Those, I mean, if you retest those bugs and they are still reproducible in master, I mean, if we just close them automatically, then we just closing a bug incorrectly because it's still reproducible. So that's why we ask for input from a third person or the reporter or whoever who can retest it just to make sure it's still reproducible or not.
So you have this chart with the regressions.
Yeah.